Hi, this is Neil Walters, author of the chapter of this book called The Ancient Success Secrets of the Rabbis, and the name of the book is The Art and Science of Success, Volume 3. I'm currently attending Web Yeshiva because I love learning more about Hebrew and more about Torah. I'm in what's called their Halakhic Mastery Program. Halakha means the way we walk, the way we put Torah into our lives. And I want to talk to you in this video about the different types of Hebrew that you may be interested in learning. So let me just cover the broad perspective. There's modern Hebrew, biblical Hebrew, and then there's a few variations such as Rabbinical Hebrew, and then there's even this kind of a sister language called Aramaic. So why would you want to learn modern Hebrew? Basically, if you want to study the politics of Israel, you want to go to Israel and speak to people, you want to study the modern history of Israel, then you'd want to learn modern Hebrew. Then of course there's biblical Hebrew. If you want to study the Bible, the Torah, the Humash, the 5 books of Moses, the prophets, the Tanakh means the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim. The Torah being the 5 books of Moses, the Nevi'im being the prophets, and the Ketuvim meaning all the other writings that were included in the Tanakh. So obviously learning biblical Hebrew is a great place to start. One of my favorite expressions is all translation is commentary. So when you're studying the Bible, if you're reading it in English or Spanish or any other language, you're not really getting the original. You're getting someone's interpretation or commentary on what the Bible really said. Hebrew has a lot of interesting nuances, and sometimes a word can be taken in different ways. And it's more important to read it in Hebrew and then make your own understanding of it rather than reading it in a language that might miss all these interesting nuances. So what are some of the differences between biblical Hebrew and modern Hebrew? A lot of the grammar is the same. I mean, ancient Hebrew or biblical Hebrew has a few little differences that aren't so common in modern Hebrew, especially the more slang modern Hebrew. Very proper modern Hebrew still uses some of those constructs. But for example, the vocabulary is, some of it's the same, like a lot of the verbs are the same, but the things you're talking about are going to be quite different. Like in modern Hebrew, you'll be talking about going out to a restaurant, maybe getting on an airplane, talking about maybe a class you went to at the university, having dinner with people, that kind of thing. But in biblical Hebrew, you might be talking about kings and prophets and sages or the horses or the kingdoms and those type of words. So even though the structure and all is very similar, what you're talking about kind of changes. Then, as I mentioned a minute ago, there is actually Aramaic, which is the language of most of the Talmud, and it's a sister language to Hebrew. If you know Hebrew, Aramaic uses the same alphabet, and the words are sometimes similar, just like Spanish and French and Portuguese and Italian have similar words. Like Romance languages are all related. Aramaic is related to both Hebrew and Arabic. They're Semitic languages. So when you learn one, learning the second one is not quite so hard. Then you might even say there's another language called Rabbinic Hebrew, which is kind of a mix of all these different types of Hebrew. It's kind of like what century it was used in. The Midrash, and then some like books like the Shulchan Aruch, the set's called the Set Table. A lot of the Halakha, the way we should walk, comes from the Shulchan Aruch. And these different texts can be somewhat challenging to learn to read. And that's one of the things I'm working on right now at Web Yeshiva, trying to learn how to read these rabbinical texts. So you have biblical Hebrew, modern Hebrew, Aramaic, and rabbinical Hebrew. Some people actually throw in a word called Yeshivish or Yeshivish, and you can actually Google that on the internet. There are some words that are kind of used in the yeshiva world where they kind of have some of their own, or they, whatever you want to say, have their own kind of vocabulary, and it's just an interesting mix of it all put together. So these are the types of Hebrew you might want to learn. They all start with learning the alphabet first. If you don't know how to read, you can't go any further with the grammar and with the vocabulary. So start with the alphabet, check out what we have to offer, and we'll see you on some of our other videos that we have that teach you the frequently asked questions and the should ask questions when looking for a Hebrew program. For immediate access to our entire series of videos and the frequently asked and should ask questions on learning Hebrew, please visit HebrewInfoCenter.com. Or you can text your name and email to 214-317-4517. When you do that, I'll immediately send you access to those videos along with the first 3 audio lessons of our course, The Top 400 Words of the Hebrew Bible. Look forward to talking to you more, and I'll see you on the inside.